Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to deconstruct the complete business plan for a modern fashion brand called Zak Apparel. We're going to treat it just like an architect's blueprint, digging into every single detail, from the foundation all the way to the finishing touches that go into building a brand from the ground up.
I bet it's a question a lot of us have asked ourselves. On the surface, it seems pretty straightforward, right? You make some cool clothes, you sell them online. But behind every single successful brand, there's this really meticulous, well-thought-out plan. And this blueprint for Zak Apparel, it's going to show us exactly what that looks like. So let's dive in.
Okay, so every great structure, every great brand, it all starts with one core idea. This is the foundation of the entire blueprint. So, what is Zak Apparel really? And what problem is it actually trying to solve?
The whole concept really stands on three powerful pillars. First, it's online first, built for how we shop today. Second, it delivers export quality, which immediately signals premium materials and craftsmanship. And third, it does all this at reasonable prices. Now, this isn't just a random list of features. This is a laser-focused strategy designed to fill a very specific gap in the market.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. A lot of brands would just stop at selling clothes, but look at the second half of this mission statement, building long-term customer relationships through transparency and engagement. That right there tells you this isn't just about transactions. They want to build a loyal community. And in a super crowded market, that is a huge differentiator.
So the idea is solid, for sure. But even the best idea in the world needs the right environment to grow. So the next part of this blueprint is all about understanding the landscape and, maybe most importantly, figuring out exactly who the customer is.
To really get Zak Apparel's strategy, you need to know this acronym, DTC, or Direct to Consumer. By selling online directly to you, they cut out the middleman, the big retail stores. And this one move is the key that unlocks their entire business model. It lowers their costs, which means they can actually deliver on that reasonable price promise without skimping on the export quality. Plus, it gives them total control over their brand and that customer relationship we just talked about.
So who is this customer? Well, the profile is incredibly specific. It's not just an age group, it's a whole mindset. They're fashion conscious, yeah, but they're also value seeking. They want to look great, but they don't want to break the bank to do it. And here's the kicker. They are digitally active. This person lives online, which is exactly where Zak Apparel is setting up shop to meet them.
All right, so we've seen this term export quality pop up a few times now. It sounds great, it sounds premium, but what does it actually mean for the person who's about to click Add to Cart? Let's break down what that promise really is. This is where that marketing term becomes a real thing for the customer. It means you're getting clothes with high durability, that are comfortable because they're made from premium fabrics. It means you get modern styles at prices that actually make sense. And it's all wrapped up in the convenience of online shopping, backed by real customer support and easy returns if things don't work out. This is the value proposition in action. Okay, so we've got the idea, we know the market, and we have the product. But let's be honest, the online fashion world is incredibly crowded. How does a brand new company even begin to cut through all that noise? Well, that's where the digital game plan comes in.
This chart just perfectly lays out their competitive edge. While other brands might force you to choose between low quality or crazy high markups, Zak Apparel is hitting that sweet spot of high quality and value-based pricing. But that third point, agility, that's their secret weapon. Because they're a smaller, online-only shop, they can react to new trends and what customers are saying way faster than the big, slow-moving brands.
And here's exactly how they're going to reach that target customer we talked about. It's a really smart, multi-channel strategy. They're not just banking on ads. No, they're building a brand through content. They're partnering with influencers, and they're using loyalty programs to create this whole ecosystem that's designed to keep customers coming back again and again.
You can have the slickest marketing in the world, but it's all for nothing if you don't have a solid operation to back it up. So now we're getting to the real construction phase of the blueprint. How this business is actually going to run day to day to make good on all its promises. Hey, remember that export quality promise? Well, this is how they make it real. It's not just a slogan they put on the website. It's a rigorous, three-step process. Every single piece of fabric gets checked, every stitch is inspected, and every final garment gets a thorough review before it ever goes out the door. That's how you build trust and deliver consistency.
And here's another really savvy move. Instead of making huge, massive quantities of every single design, they use small batch production. Now this is huge. It means if a style doesn't really sell, they're not stuck with a giant warehouse full of stuff they can't move. It keeps risk low, and it lets them constantly introduce new, trendy pieces, keeping the brand feeling fresh and exciting.
Okay, but no business plan, no blueprint is complete without a serious dose of realism. A strong plan doesn't just ignore problems, it actually anticipates them. So what are the potential roadblocks that Zak Apparel could hit?
And what's really great here is that for every single risk, they've got a clear plan to deal with it. To fight back against intense competition, they're going to focus on constantly watching trends and really engaging with their customers. To handle supply chain delays, they're going to work with multiple suppliers. See, this shows they aren't just being optimistic, they're being prepared.
So, after taking apart this entire blueprint, what's the big takeaway? It's really this. A huge, exciting vision is absolutely essential, but it's the detailed, realistic plan for how you're actually going to execute that vision that brings it to life. Zak Apparel's plan connects everything. Its mission, its marketing, its operations, right back to the customer.
And that kind of leaves us with one final thought. Every great brand you can think of started by solving a problem. Whether that's the need for quality at a fair price, or better service, or just making a product that didn't exist before. So, if you were sitting down to draft your own blueprint, what problem would you set out to solve?